What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Dave. This is my 2004 C5 Corvette. So if you're into Corvette content, especially C5 content, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Now in today's video, we are going to be lowering the front factory bolts a little bit lower than what you can typically get just by adjusting the front lowering bolt, which is located right here. So if you're new to this, this is your front lowering bolt. You can adjust the ride height on the front of your C5 by adjusting this bolt as far as it can go upwards, which right now it's as high as it can go, but I want to go a little bit lower. So without dismantling the entire suspension and going with an aftermarket front lowering bolt, I'll show you a cheap and easy way to do that with a PVC cable cutter. So in order to adjust your front lowering bolt, again, if you are new, you have to put a jack underneath the leaf spring in order to raise the leaf spring to take pressure off of the bolt in order to turn it. If you try to turn this right the way it is, you won't really be able to turn it because there's just too much force on it from the leaf spring. So first I'm going to put a jack underneath the leaf spring just to push that leaf spring up a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so now with the jack under there, pushing up on the leaf spring, taking a little bit of pressure off of that lowering bolt, I'm going to use the PVC wire cutter thing here. Basically you just run this back and forth and it'll cut through the rubber bushing. Now I'm going to put up a picture here on exactly what we're trying to do, and then I added some, as you can see, some pink string to this because you do have to wrestle with this a little bit and there's not much room under here to do this. So what I did was I put some string on here so that I can go to the other side of the car, sit down, and then go back and forth with the cable from the other side the way that it's supposed to be used. A little less stressful on the arms and makes it go a lot quicker. So let me throw that picture up and show you exactly what we're trying to do. So the top bolt is an OEM lowering bolt and the bottom bolt is an aftermarket bolt. I have to give credit to my buddy Angel over at Boostin250X. I'll leave his Instagram down in the description. He's the one that told me this little trick on how to remove this bushing without dismantling the entire suspension system. So essentially, I'm going to put a red line here on the screen, and we're going to be cutting this bushing right below what I call the lowering bolt head. I don't know what the actual term is, but essentially that's where you want to cut the bushing off. This is just a rubber bushing, so we're just using the PVC cutter just to cut right through that rubber bushing. So this will make the overall length of the OEM lowering bolt the same length as the aftermarket bolt, and that's exactly what we're going after. Now when it's all said and done, this is the bushing that we're cutting off. Again, you want to go as high up as you can so you can get as much material off as possible. So this is the amount of material that I took off. Again, I went up as high as I possibly could. So essentially now the lowering bolt is the same as a aftermarket lowering bolt minus this bushing. This is the only difference between the OEM bolt and an aftermarket bolt, is that this bushing is obviously not on the aftermarket bolt. Alright guys, so let me try and show you exactly what we have going on. It is tight, but once you put your head in here, you're going to see exactly what we're trying to accomplish. So right in there, I have the PVC cable cutter thingamajiggy as high up as possible. I'm going to call it the underside of the lowering bolt head right there. And then we're just going to work the cable cutter back and forth until we cut all the way through that. Again, I attach this string so that I can go on the other side of the car and pull it back and forth like this. A little easier on the arms. So let's go ahead and do that now. Smell that. Really starts to smell like bushing ground too. There you go, guys. That was pretty quick doing it that way. As you can see, I cut through the bushing, since this is now through it, and I will, can't see anything, but I will raise the lowering bolt so that I can get that bushing out, and it's that easy, guys. Alright guys, so there you go. I cut off both bushings on both lowering bolts. Now to adjust your ride height, if you are new to this, again, you raise this bolt up if you want it to go low, and then you tighten it to go down if you want it to raise the ride height. So go up to go down and down to go up. Yeah, so this is the final fitment. I'll be honest, it's definitely not as low as I thought it would be. I would have thought that wheel gap would have been a lot less. That is the one reason why I didn't lower the back any more than what it is now, just because of the way of how it would ride. I just think if I lowered the back more, it kind of looks stupid. So the front is where it is, maxed out as low as it can go with that bushing off. So essentially that's like putting an aftermarket lowering bolt on. Now your car might be a little bit different, because I've seen guys lower on stock bolts and that wheel gap is nowhere near as big as that is. So this is my instance. Maybe you're going to fare a little bit better. Again, I'm not 100% happy with it, but at least cutting that bushing off the way I did is a lot easier than replacing the entire lowering bolt and buying, you know, a set of bolts that I didn't really need. That's why I went with grade 8 bolts in the back instead of getting an aftermarket bolt kit. So next move would be coilovers when that time comes. So I hope this video helped you, and if it did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.